Alright, this is Cookies, and it's probably been a few months since False God and I recorded the last episode. False God's gotten a lot more busy, so I'm going to go ahead and solo out the rest of this recording so it actually gets out. So let me go ahead and get started. Now, if I remember right, Lanka was attacking TNN. So let's go ahead and dive into it. So we have a couple of Hosts of Ganas, really good spell. Gives you ethereal undead monkeys that you can use to try and take over forts. It's really, I think it's particularly good in the early game. All right. So first up, we catch a battle between Urko and some PD, it looks like. These are the new Windrider sprites as part of Dominion 6. And does he care about blessing? He might do some. No, he's got his profit here. So yeah, this is pretty strong group. All right, so we've got defense skill +5, blur, strength +1, and awareness. So very heavy on the defense. So these ones are 3 stars, so they're up at 25 defense. Additionally, they've got blur and awareness, so it's harder to harass them down, and it's harder for enemies to hit them. And we'll take a quick look at them going ham on this. All right. So pretty fun. Definitely worth blessing there. Next up, we've got Lanka going into Ironport. We're pinging Ironport, not much home. And then in range of light, we've got Kailasa attacking Saramatia. A number of these Yavana sacreds, but it's just one PD. Loses one though. Okay. And then we get attacked by fish people. Alright. And it looks like it's going to be far too many ichthyds. Alright. Okay, so as far as Lanka's going, alright. Well, Demosthenes here has cracked TNN, and he's planning to storm. So let's take a look at the storming army. We've got air shield attack, and then divine blessing with sermon of courage. A large number of palankasha. It looks like, is that 60 palankasha plus 1 Anusara on bodyguard duty, and then a number of Atavi archers and some Ganas on the flanks, and then more Atavi archers. Okay, so it looks like a pretty comprehensive force for trying to storm. We'll see what he finds inside. And then to add insult to injury, he's reanimating ghouls on top of the capital. And also over here, and although it looks like he's run out of corpses here. Although I don't think you say, oh, this is Solus. You need corpses for Solus. I think ghouls you just create. So you can see here he's got these Pisachas, which have a poisoned claw, 29 hit points. Pretty cool, unique ghoul, I guess. And then he also gets unique Solus, which I remember talking about prior. And it looks like we have some additional stuff on the way in case that assault fails. All right. Now, research is at 64, which is a bit low, I think, for turn 16, but, you know, his mages have a lot to do. He's also upgrading the fortress here, so he'll be able to get more mages soon. And then, are we sending anything? Doesn't appear so. And we've got Hinnom over here, Macone to the northwest, Sarmatia to the northeast, Kaelasa to the east, and Arco to kind of like the east and southeast. And then there's a lot more TNN to capture, actually, so this could end up being far more profitable. But we gotta go see how the storming attempt on the capital goes. So I'll go ahead and jump into turn 17. All right, I've got turn 17 pulled up. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at these battles. So we've got some Sarmatian Sacreds killing PD. I don't think we need to watch that. Lose one raider. TNN Sallies. And it's... oh, I guess it's maybe trying to evacuate some slingers. So maybe there's nothing home. I forget if there was a large battle against TNN's main army prior to this. The Wind Riders are going to come in. And there's not much home, but we can watch the initial lance charge. Alright. I don't think we need to watch the rest of that. Let's see, so that was here. Looks like maybe killed one. And then we've got the Battle of TNN. Alright, so what's inside? Alright, so we've got a lot of Tuatha warriors. We've got a lot of Shi warriors. And it looks like there's a good number of mages stacked into the Tuatha line. There's no gems to be had on either side. So I guess they're just going to be spamming illusions, perhaps. We got some Ichthids, some Furbolg warriors in the gate. Palankashas are pretty killy. As a reminder, this is the Bless. Reminder for both me and anyone watching. Now, Fire Res 10, also a defense skill Bless, +5, and a little bit of extra MR. And then Blood Surge, Righteous Wrath, and Larger for all the stats. So, actually pretty strong Bless here. You can see here. So, up at 15. Which, with Anti-Magic later, will put them near, around between like 18 and 20, I think. That's probably where you want to be to avoid a lot of enslave plays later in the game. Or even just, like, big banishment spam. So the Ganas have pushed through on the flanks. Now the Ganas up here, they're getting massacred because of the Tuatha magic weapons. And these are doing okay because they're currently fighting slingers. As a reminder, the Bless for TNN, defense skill +2, strength +3, and some other stuff, including poison res. Okay. So watching this again, now if I remember right from last turn, I think the Ganas were on attack rear, and I think if the intent, now the intent might have been to send them into the back to harass, But if the intent was to clear out the slingers, I think you want them on attack closest, just positioned on the side, and hopefully they latch on to the slinger squads. So maybe that could have been a small scripting mistake, just depending on intentions. And then the concern I have with the TNN line is it's pretty far back. And so we're going to see here that the Palankashas end up breaking through, and they get a lot more surface area to try and attack. Yeah, so I guess the upside of the gun is just attacking rear is they bought just enough time for the Palankashas to get through. So it just kind of depends on the priorities, but getting this kind of surface area inside the gate was key. Because they don't have enchanted blood. So they can eventually die, but slingers are going to have a hard time doing that to them. But a whole bunch of evocations, like maybe these ephemeral builds and different web things, like, you know, that stuff could have potentially added up over time. And then these two guys back here are just being champs with the lightning bolts. So Palankashas are just really good. So works out. Does lose 27 Palankasha. Loses 26 of the Ganas. That said, kills 43 Tuatha warriors. And was that 12 mages, and prevents TNN from having a place to... I'm presuming it was an imprisoned rainbow, so they're not going to be able to get their rainbow later if they're still somehow alive. Alright. We have a couple of events. Lose some population at Yogini gets wounded. But have a shiny new capital, and importantly, a shiny new capital with a lab. Which means you can immediately start recruiting more mages. Although it needs the temple to be able to get anything other than Yogini. Probably didn't have the money. Let's see. Yeah, didn't have the money to get a new lab just yet, but gonna go ahead and go after the fort in Ironport next, which should be much less defended. And with the new Ghana that he brought in, probably realizing that most of his Ghana would be killed, he's got another set of Ghana ready to go to storm this fort as well. So momentum is maintained. And yeah, now he's got some new soulless chaff too. Not bad. What are you doing? Are you site searching? Potentially. What's your script? Retreat? Probably. In terms of recruitment, we've got a Yogini, a couple of Yoginis, a Raksharaja and Palankasha. Getting some more ghouls. And sneaking in a little bit of research here. Doesn't feel like he needs more soulless at the moment, so trying to up the research. So at about 65, should finish. Was that enchantment 1? Yeah, so should be able to pick up enchantment 1. That'll give, I guess, Windrunner is nice, True Shot is nice, maybe protection from lightning. Healing Touch could be nice. Yeah, there's some good stuff in here. All right, so that was the storming of TNN. Let's go ahead and jump to turn 18. All right, so we've got turn 18 pulled up here. Alright, and we see here Tianqi going after a throne. So we've got a number of these demons of the Heavenly Rivers. I have an enormous amount of respect for that Sacred after they ran me the fuck over in my EA relay game. And then we've got a bunch of warriors of the 5 elements who are okay. I don't know. I think it takes a lot of bless to get them. They're killy, but they're kind of Glass Canyon-y. So I've killed a lot of them in my time playing this game, but you have to respect how killy they can be as well. And over here, you have a tremendous number of boars. Boars suck pretty hard. They've only got 8 attack. It's a low damage attack. So they look kind of big and scary, but these boars don't trample. They've only got 13 HP. They're undisciplined. They die in droves. They've got 5 MR. The Vinemen should be actually a little bit tougher. It's rare to say that. And then it's backed up with some Wolf Tribe. And Wolf Tribe can be... I mean, these are the Archer variants, but the Dagger variants can be somewhat killy. I think these guys, yeah. So this is probably the most dangerous unit here in this army. And then we've got a few Animus. And I guess this one might... If he had a Skull Staff, he could maybe do like some kind of crazy rigor mortis thing, which would be hilarious. But as it is, he's just a Death 3 mage. He'll probably do skeletons and maybe use gems for fatigue reduction. Alright. So I expect Tianqi to clear all of this, but probably lose a fair number of troops just from the volume. But let's go ahead and jump into it. What's the size on these? So these guys with a larger bless would be able to wade, but it would lower the attack density for these guys. So I don't know, it kind of depends what sacred you're going for. Looks like the route is on. At least for the Death Mage, because the solos are disappearing. Now the full route is on. And it looks like the regular TNG humans have fled. But yeah, these demons are absolute units. Alright. So TNG loses 48 troops here. But only 1 demon and only 6 warriors. So not too bad. And they killed 422 things, but most of it was garbage. But they do get that throne. Then we see Lanka attacking Kailasa. So maybe this is some vulturing. I remember there was some drama going on over there. So maybe that's why the Raksharaja was heading over here as well. Alright, and then we have a battle in Ironport. Nothing going on outside. Cool. Loses 1 Ghana to friendly fire, but otherwise everything goes okay. Loses 10 PD in Osiri. And gains 1 death. And breaches Ironport. And finishes constructing the fortress. So should have a lot of mage recruitment this turn, or at least the possibilities for mage recruitment. Let's see. So pushing on into Jareb, we can see here the throne that was taken. We don't know what throne it was just yet. No thrones have been claimed. Although we do know that we have the Throne of Earth. All right, so we're picking up a host of Ganas. I keep saying we, but I mean Demonsthenes. But I'm looking at it from his perspective. Let's see. We're reanimating some Solus here. Yeah, it looks like Kalos is mostly dead, but here we gain the cave entrance. So we get the opportunity to go take some Burkids. And there's some militia here. So we'll see what's going on here. If I remember, there was some drama between Sarmatia and Kailasa, but I forget what it was. Okay, he is site searching the Throne of Misfortune. Building a temple here. I think just the one temple, yeah. But otherwise, needing to spend a lot of gold on mages and Palankasha. And at some point, it's going to be a lot cheaper to get these Raktapada than it will be to get the Yogini. Let's see. Yeah, larger bless is pretty nice. How much HP do they get? Yeah, 27 HP. So they'll make pretty good Sabbath batteries later too, potentially. All right, and we are storming. So let's see. If he's not, yes, attack archers. Okay, so that means in the prior battle, it was intentional to do attack rear to try and maybe distract the line of troops in there. And now we've got the Ghana on attack archers to go ahead and clear out those wall guards and stop the slingers from firing. So very nice. Getting another host of Ghanas. And then, let's see, this guy is raiding, and he's got a small group of Palankasha and some, what was it, ghouls to try kind of like pad out the numbers a little bit. So should be able to take whatever's here in Jareb, and then you can start thinking about raiding out maybe here to just kind of like block things off, but we'll see. We'll see if TNG starts vulturing. All right. I think that's it for this one. We can see if anything's going out. I don't see anything going out. All right, let's go ahead and jump into turn 19. All right, so we got turn 19 pulled up. Throne of Water. Okay, that's really good for TNG. I think for the warriors of the, is it 5 elements? Because a bunch of additional defense skill gives them a lot more survivability. It also helps other sacreds that they've got. I just don't think to quite the same degree. I mean, it'll be a bit an impact for the demons, but they berserk, so I think they've already got pretty low defense skill. We do find a Lilium Veil in a Brigand Lair. So the Throne of Misfortune is going to have high unrest, unfortunately. And then we see an assassination attempt. So these are recruitable mages. They're pretty good assassins at Glamour too. And so it's going to try and kill the Satavi chieftain. So these illusions, it's an MR check to negate. So they can sometimes struggle to do some damage there. We We can check out the hit that killed this Atavi chieftain, though. So there's the attack roll, and then there's the MR check, and then just rolled a monster damage roll to get the 23 points of damage. Yep, and that ended up killing him. There we go. So kills one Atavi chieftain. This raid, however, is... Or no, this is going after the Ichthids. I missed that command. So we've got a number of archers, including Mercata and Atavi. And then the Palankasha here are here to just kind of kill everything. Okay. So loses 2 Atavi infantry, not bad. Then in Jareb, this is the raiding force. I mean, this should go pretty smooth. I don't expect him to lose anything except maybe a ghoul. Alright. So yeah, it loses a ghoul. And then in Ironport, we got the storm attempt. And there's more Tuatha here than I would have thought, including a couple of mages. I think this is probably the mage that did the assassination. Unfortunately, this group of Ghana latched onto this group of archers. And so they're getting pounded on by the Tuatha, but that is letting the Palankasha into the fort. Alright, the Palankasha push on through. Pretty stubborn resistance from the Tuatha. They didn't rout, they fought to the last. Or at least from what I saw. Alright. Yeah, all of them died. And yeah, so wipes out this garrison. It does lose 9 Palankasha, loses most of the Ghanas again, but again, you can expect that. Just gonna watch this really quick again. What are they spamming? Alright, so we got Web, Luck, Decree of the Underworld, False Fetters. Alright. Yeah, I mean, these Tuatha, they just kept fighting. I mean, they do have pretty good morale, but still, that was... I guess a few of them did rout. Okay. But... Alright, yeah, very fun battle. He gets a free vampire. Alright. And then 5 water gems. Okay. So this raiding group... Okay, so TNG does push forward to Vulture. So Lanka is going to go ahead and take Anika here and send a raid out to Wolvermori because those don't bump. Now, I don't know if these were negotiated or not in terms of the split. But yeah, TNG's definitely taking maybe what they view as their fair share. You can see a bit of the underground picture here. So there's a TNN province down here. So this effectively vultures twice unless Arco comes in and snags it. Okay, oh, so the Atavi chieftain got assassinated here. He was going for a mage. Alright. And there's not a lot of PD here, so he's having to patrol. What is this? This is... Oh, 69 patrol strength. So that should be able to find the Banshee. Got some ghouls getting reanimated. And then Argo goes ahead and takes this one. Alright. So Lanka expanding quite nicely here. Not overstepping too far. Let's see. So here we've got a patrol effort, probably looking for any more Banshees. It's got 110 patrol strength. This group of Atavis is heading back to the throne, presumably to claim it. Didn't have time to earlier. This Atavi is going to upgrade this to a fortress. Mound King Ganas. Alright, what are we doing for recruitment? A Yogini. A Bandar commander. He's getting a little bit more leadership. A Kalamuka, which is the Holy Two. That also comes with another random. So it's you could roll these to try and get your Blood 2 Blood Hunters. And then also picking up 3 Kalamuka warriors, which are the Recruit Anywhere Sacreds for Lanka. And then some more Palankashas and the Raksharaja on repeat recruitment. All right. So maybe it's time to scale a little bit. We'll have to see. And I will go ahead and do turn 20 and then we'll probably call it. All right, so I've got turn 20 pulled up. Finds another magic site, a labyrinth of skulls, so that's more death gems to turn into potentially Morgana or other stuff. And there is indeed another assassination attempt. This is one of the Raktapada. So this poor Raktapada is probably a goner. It just might take a while. False damage is building up. It's down to 4. Okay. And then in Wolvermore, a pack of Palankasha going after this Jade Amazon province. So that'll be a nice pickup. Because I don't think Lanka's got water access. So having the nature water across path could be nice, and just having water access in general should be nice. With the throne, he'll get access to gnomes, which should break him into glamour. So already picking up some nice magic diversity. And then this raid also continues. Palankasha is killing more PD. Alright. So that's Anika. And then we've got, I guess, scouts scouting out the pilfering of Jebero. And that was successful. Yeah, all right. And then Tianchi also going down into the caves to get the cave province they cut off. All right, and then we also catch Baratos attacking independents in the caves, which means we get to see their bless. And it's a region fortitude bless. All right. So solid there, loses 1 Colossi. Let's see, we lose some more PD. Get some water gems, some province income. Lose some income. All right. And a scout gets patrolled out. So the TNN assassin definitely becoming an issue. So new Bandar commander coming in, not on move and patrol. So I wonder if that is a script, like a small mistake. I'm assuming he might have wanted to try and patrol out the assassin. Also coming out here with some Ganas and some Solus to go ahead and raid the underwater. Knock TNN out that way. I suppose TNN will just die soon too. So just getting another commander in here, hoping that it's, you don't lose a mage to the assassin is also got some value in it. And then gonna go ahead and site search Wolvermore. So this must be the agreed upon split with TNG. And then I guess I thought that might have been a TNN province that got hit by satyrs, but maybe they also killed a TNG raid. Not sure. Okay. And then, yeah, gaining a border with Niflheim down here. All right, this fortress is 2 months away. Picking up a Yogini. And then also getting a Yogini here. Not enough money yet, or maybe just planning to keep getting Yogini here to put a temple here. Another Mound King and some more ghouls. Claiming the throne, building a lab. Okay, so that's where the infrastructure is going this turn. The intention to fort the Throne of Earth. Again, those gnomes are nice. And then reanimating some ghouls. And then this vampire is coming back with a bunch of ghouls. And the vampire's been outfitted with a little bit of armor, because that'll give it protection versus mundane of 28. And the black steel kite shield should help out too. So should make the vampire a lot tankier. But otherwise continuing to site search. All right. And it's turn 20. First war is wrapping up, pretty much over. And now hitting a little bit of scaling. What's going on over here? Personal flight, Muratavi. Yeah, not sure what's going on here. Oh, there's a Windspire, so maybe there's some event chain. I don't know. All right. And then we can check, nothing going out. And in terms of just the graph, just to get a kind of general idea, you can see how the graph is going. Army size now going back up. Took some attrition here, but should increase pretty rapidly now. And I think we'll call that here for this episode. I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.